Hi guys, Robert here. I think a picture's worth 1,000 words, and this time I'm not giving advice, I'm asking for it. This is the original file, well, except that I accidentally saved it after I smoothed the paths, so this has no intersections. But I want to zoom in and look at it real quick, because when I do a conversion, this has a lot of intersections. So look at this little notch in particular, because I know it turned out a mess. So here's the notch by his hair there. Here's the notch by his hair there. It really looks like, that's kind of a zero offset when that was drawn, or pretty close to it, which is a way to get rid of intersections. His cut path looks exactly like his piece, but when let me see if I move from this node to this node. Okay, well, it is offset some, but not as much as my curve. Mine is going to be quite a bit more than that with 0.06. If you look at the actual closed cut path, I try to center that up. My curve is a lot wider. If that's supposed to be the actual edge, when I cut this, it's going to wind up considerably smaller. So let's get that back out. So when I offset it to get this actual size with a 0.06 curve, let me show you my settings real quick. 0.06 is my curve. The gap at the end, 0.04, and then overcut to reduce undercut. This is supposed to make this work better. I'm not unchecking it, but see, and then I've got it set to delete small holes that are smaller than my curve. And oops, we don't want that. That doesn't even matter. And then here's your link paths, 0.06 and 0.06 is where I have it set for this. So until that, when I sell this to make a new path, I think this is what the original poster had a problem with. So there's my new cut path, and it's a hot mess. And if I look at that one I was talking about, that doesn't even look like the path that we want. This one does. This one follows it exactly, this curve. Here's an intersection, and if I do like Fred said, or excuse me, Bill said, then I hit edit and I move that over. There it is. That's probably close enough. And it does look like it now. So you can see, kind of what you're doing. I wish, oops, that to be not selected. I wish that it would do it without that intervention. This one's not right either. So do you have to go in every time and kind of get it exact? Maybe that's part of the work that we have as designers. But these intersections are kind of the biggest complaint. But when cutting, does that intersection really matter? The torch is going to be through there and past, and I don't think it's going to have a big effect on cut quality, before that intersection is an issue, except that it doesn't look like what it's supposed to. So, do you come in here to these and fix every single one of them? I guess you go in and fix them. You can work it out. Well, you got to make sure it's unselected. This works pretty good when you're have both the closed path and the cut path up here, because now with the wide curve shown, because now I can actually kind of set that where I want it. Each node one at a time. It's one way to do it. If you've got hundreds, you're in trouble. Thousands. So I'm going to move this out of the way, because as most of you probably already know, if I start drawing lines or breaking these apart and then hit J for join, while that's over the top of this, if it's close enough within my specified distance, it will link up to these and delete duplicates, and I'll have a hot mess. So it would be really nice if you turned it off if it stayed off, but it doesn't. If you turn that design off and then you draw a line, well, it brings it back. And so if I draw that line to put my cut path together for some reason, then I wind up with a mess. So there's a question for them. Can we have it separate? So I have 101 intersections. Smooth, I don't think hurts our paths so bad, as long as we don't go too big a factor. 0.002, you know, it makes 12. There's the old intersections. And hit D. They're going to be very similar. It might have one or two disappeared from this view. So do we leave this crossover? I mean, it makes this divot like we want it to. Or what do you guys do? Do you go in and move it and get it fixed? Is that how you do that on every one of them? Or do you just leave it alone? Or in some instances, do you hit X? Especially if, let's look at that one. Well, that's an easy one. But look at this one. How many nodes does this thing have? You know, a bunch of nodes. So, you know, I'm not moving, it's just this little tiny piece. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I'm going to straighten this out with the edit command, it's going to take me forever. I can hit X, clear it out, J for join. Now it's gone. Only problem is it doesn't look like what I want it to look like. So help me out, guys. Is there a better way? Because I can go through and clean up all 92 intersections, or I can leave them like it is. I mean, the simple ones I can go through and change, especially with the edit command. Thank you, Bill. I can do that, and I have not done that in the past. I can do it with the cut path, you know, already overlapping my shape. I can go in and fix that and have that actually be like I want it, I think. So I can go in and straighten that up. So I mean, I think that's helpful for me for sure. But I'm clicking E for edit, just like Bill said. So help me out. Is there a better way? I don't know. I'm a dummy.